Hello and welcome back to Mapping Your Tech Monday. This week's going to be a little different. Usually on these videos we talk about practical tech topics, things like passwords, scam messages, emails, Wi-Fi, and every little day problems that can make technology feel frustrating. But today I want to slow things down and talk about why I started doing this in the first place. Because for me, these videos are not about showing off technology, they're not about making people feel like they're behind, and they're definitely not about me using a bunch of complicated words just to sound smart. The goal is much simpler than that. I want to help people feel more comfortable with technology. I want to explain things in plain English. I want people to know what to watch out for, what to not panic about, and what steps they can take when something goes wrong. Because technology is part of everyday life now. It is how we pay bills, it's how we talk to family, it's how we run businesses and check appointments. And if nobody takes the time to explain it clearly, a lot of people get left behind, feeling confused, embarrassed, and overwhelmed. That is what this series is trying to change. And let's get started. The idea for this really started with a question from my father. He asked me how I wanted to give back, how I wanted to help people, and the question stuck with me. Because when I thought about it, I realized that the answer was already there. I have always helped people with technology in one way or another. Not because I know everything and not because I think technology is always easy, but because I know how frustrating it can be when something does not work out and nobody can explain why. Sometimes people do not need a giant technical answer. They just need someone to say, here's what that means, here's why it went wrong, here's what to do in the future, and here's when you should stop and ask for help. That is a big part of why I wanted to make these videos. We're not looking to make people feel small for not knowing something. We're trying to help as many people as we can, especially people who feel like technology is moving faster than they can keep up with. And sometimes the best way to give back is to look at what people already come to you for. For me, that's always been helping people understand technology a little better. When I say I've been helping people with tech for a long time, I really mean it. I still remember being in first grade and my teacher asked me for help solving a computer problem. I was just a kid, but somehow I was already the person people were asking when the computer was acting strange. And honestly, that pattern never really stopped. Over the years, I kept finding ways to use technology to solve problems. In high school theater, I learned sound editing software and built a sound effect database because I made the shows easier to manage. It was not about being fancy, it was about making things work smoother. Even now, I create tools to help organize and manage these videos because when there is a problem, my first thought is usually, is there a way to make this easier? That is how I've always looked at technology. It's a tool. I can help people save time, stay organized, communicate better, protect themselves, and feel more in control, but only when it's explained in a way that people can actually use. That is why I care so much about making this practical, simple, and human. One of the reasons I care so much about this is because technology can feel overwhelming very quickly, even for me. And if you feel that way, I want you to know something important. That does not mean you are bad with technology. A lot of times people feel lost because nobody ever taught them the basics in a simple way. Think about how much we are expected to understand now. Passwords, email, text messages, scam links, phone settings, app updates, storage warnings, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, online banking, digital forms, cloud storage, and security codes. That's a lot. And the confusing part is that most devices do not explain things to that like a real person would. They show you a pop-up, a warning, or a weird error message, and you are supposed to know what that means. So people guess, they click around, they panic, or they avoid it completely. That is why one of the best things you can do is slow down. When something happens on your phone or computer, do not immediately click every button trying to fix it. Read the message carefully. Take a screenshot if you can. Write down what you are trying to do when the problem happened. Even a simple note like, I opened my email, clicked a link, and then this message appeared, can make it much easier to get help. Technology feels less scary when you stop treating it like a test and start treating it like something you can learn one step at a time. One of the things I really want people to understand is that technology is a tool. You do not need to know every feature on your phone. You do not need to know every new app. You do not need to understand every technical word someone throws at you. The real question is, does this help me solve a problem? That is how I've always looked at technology. Like I said, when I was doing theater in high school, I learned sound editing software and built a sound effect database because there was a real need. It helped organize sounds, find things faster, and make the shows run smoother. That was technology doing its job. Now, I use tools to help me plan, organize, and manage these videos, not because the tools are impressive by themselves, but because they help me do work better. Now, that's a good way of looking at your own technology, too. Before you download a new app, sign up for a service, or buy a gadget, ask yourself, what is this actually helping me do? Is it saving time? Is it making something safer? Is it helping you stay organized? Or is it solving a real problem? If the answer is not clear, you may not need it. And that is okay. Good technology should make your life easier, not make you feel like you have to do homework. Now, if you ever need help with technology, please do not feel embarrassed. There's no shame in asking a basic question. A lot of people are struggling with the same thing, and they may not just say it out loud. But there are a few things that you can do to make getting help easier and safer. First, try explain what you were trying to do. Were you opening up an email, logging into a website, connecting to Wi-Fi, paying a bill? Next, explain what happened. Did a message pop up? Did the screen freeze? Did they ask for a password? Did you get a text with a code? If you can, take a screenshot. That can be extremely helpful, especially if you do not know how to describe the problem. But here's the safety warning. Be careful who you ask for help, especially with money, passwords, banking, or personal information are involved. You do not give your password just because someone says they need it. Do not share security codes over the phone. Do not call a random number from a pop-up window. And do not let someone remote link into your computer unless you're absolutely sure that you trust them. A good helper should explain what they're doing in plain English. They should not rush, scare you, or pressure you. The goal of tech help is to make you feel more confident, not more confused. One of the reasons I try to keep these videos simple is because a lot of tech advice is deliberately not made for everyday people. Sometimes it moves too fast, sometimes they use words that nobody explains, and sometimes it assumes you already know the basics before the video even starts. And if you are already comfortable with technology, that can make you feel even more lost. That is not what I want these videos to do. The goal here is to not make you feel behind. The goal is to make you build up confidence one step at a time. Because most people do not need a complicated explanation first, they need a practical version. What does this mean? Why does it matter? Why should I click? What should I avoid? And why should I stop and ask for help? That is the kind of tech help that I think more people need. And one of the best habits you can build is learning to pause before you react. Before you click a link, pause. Before you download something, pause. Before you type in a password, pause. And before you send money, show a code, or give personal information, always pause. That small pause can protect you a lot more from a lot of mistakes. You do not need to know everything about technology to use it safely. You just need to learn the basics, ask better questions, and slow down when something feels wrong. Your intuition is more helpful than you think. It's okay to say, I'm not sure, but let's slow down and look at it together. You don't need to pretend to know everything. The safest thing is to read the message carefully, avoid clicking random buttons, and to look for the official help page or app setting before trying to fix things. A good rule is this. If it involves passwords, banking, payment information, security codes, or pop ups saying your device is infected, stop and ask someone trusted. For smaller things like Wi Fi not connecting or an app not opening, restarting the device, checking updates, or reading an error message, it's usually a safe first step. Most people were never actually taught the basics. They just pick things up over time. A good way to ask is, can you show me these steps slowly so I can write them down? That turns the moment into learning instead of just getting someone else to fix it. Write the steps in your own words, not fancy tech language. For example, open settings, tap Wi Fi, choose my home network, type password. Also, write down what the button or app looks like if it helps you remember. Simple notes are often more useful than trying to memorize everything. Start with the things you use every week: your phone, email, passwords, texting, photos, online bills, and internet safety. You do not need to learn everything all at once. Pick one small skill at a time, practice it a few times, and build confidence slowly. So, to wrap this up, This week was a little more personal because I wanted you to know why I care about doing this. Helping people has always been a major part of my life, and technology is one of the tools I've used to do that. From helping with computers as a kid, learning sound software for theater, to building tools that help me manage everyday tasks, I have always believed that technology is the best way to help solve real problems. And that is why I want this series to be. Not a place where people feel judged, not a place where things are made more complicated than they need to be, but a place where everyday tech topics are explained clearly, calmly, and practically. Because you should not feel embarrassed to ask a question. You do not need to feel like technology is passing you by, and you should not have to figure out everything out alone. If there is a tech topic that confuses you, a problem that you keep running into, or something you wish someone had explained sooner, leave a comment and let me know. Your question can help shape the future videos. If this video helped you, please like, comment, and subscribe so more people can find simple tech help in plain English. And if you need help getting your business online, visit us at 123mapwebsites.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.